Hi, everybody. Welcome to another creator interview. I'm so glad to have you here. As you would have just seen, we just played the Marketplace trailer. We are launching very, very soon. So if you haven't reserved your handle, please go get it because we're just waiting to go launch the Marketplace now. Just absolutely waiting. We can't wait to share it with you guys. Today, I am very excited to be sharing our screen with Calaverita. She is a US based content creator and someone who's got a really interesting point in her content creator journey that I'm hoping to kind of unravel today. So I'll give her like a couple of minutes to kind of talk about herself and introduce herself.
Everybody, so I'm Calaverita and I make techie content on TikTok as well as PC, how to build a PC. I find it super hard to get into the PC building industry as a female, and just in general, it's super intimidating. So I want to try to ease people into learning, and it's okay to make mistakes when building a PC. It happens to everybody. I also stream on Twitch. I play a lot of Valorant, and lately I've been dipping my feet into the competitive area of gaming, and I just want other people to feel comfortable. Even if you're a female or if you're super new at gaming, it's okay to try new stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
On that point, it sounds like you've got a really in terms of your content, you're really focused on kind of this diversity, inclusion, and that like that accessibility for people who might not be like, oh, that's not for me. What kind of drove you to kind of go for that kind of theme? Is it something from your own experience?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like growing up, it was really hard for my parents to buy me an Xbox or buy me a PlayStation just because it was like, oh, you're a girl, and it wasn't like the type of stuff that a couple years ago was normal. And I totally understand where my parents were coming from. It's just that it wasn't really accessible to me till I was older, but I wish I had it sooner because I honestly love it. And I just regret having those couple of years go to waste. And I feel like it's super important to do what you love and do it now rather than waiting years. Just because for me, it took me, I was a freshman in high school before I actually started like making content. I posted one YouTube video freshman year of high school and I stopped because I was scared. And then once I was in college, I think I was a junior in college, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it because I was just frustrated. I was like, I don't want to live my life in fear. I want to live it in, let's see what tomorrow brings. I'm gonna post this, and if it works, cool. If it doesn't, that's okay. But I'm still trying to reach my dream, and that's why I like helping others. And also, I'm Mexican American, and being Mexican American has a lot of influence in my content. As far as like culturally, it's really hard to pursue a non-traditional career, just because in traditional Hispanic households, it's like school, 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 college, and then your career. And for me, it was a little bit different. No, not different, because I did go to school, I graduated, but once I got my degree, I was like, okay, now that I have my degree, my parents are happy that I have a degree, I can follow my dream.
You finished very recently, right?
Yes, I did. I graduated this month.
Congrats.
Yes.
That's so
Thank
good.
you.
But yeah, it's good that they've been really supportive through you like completing college, I assume. And this is a migrant thing slash when you're from a different cultural background and another cultural background, it's usually like all the kids have to get all the education and they have to be successful, and there's that kind of pressure. My parents pressured me to, not pressured that much, but they wanted me to either do medicine or IT. I did neither of those, but there's still that experience of just like there's a certain pathway, and it sounds like that's something you experience as well. But did they try to point you in any particular career, or?
Yes, I actually spent a whole year studying architecture because my parents were like, architecture is good for the money. And then I was just like, but I'm not really, like, I'm a really creative person. And spending that whole year in architecture, I was just like, ugh, there were so many restraints to your creativity. And I was like, I don't want a career where I can't be creative. And that's when I decided to switch to digital design. And my emphasis was in branding and just video making, filmmaking. and editing, which kind of fits perfectly into being a content creator.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one because it's not like there's a degree out there for anyone who wants to do content creation. Like I can think of like marketing, I can think of maybe I don't know if even commerce would do, but it sounds like your degree has helped a lot in terms of giving you skill sets to build into your fledgling content creation career. Do they have anything like practical in it that you're just like business wise that's also been helpful for you?
Actually, well, kind of. I feel like the design program at the university I went to was more based on you being a freelancer instead of more of like opening up a business and stuff like that. I wish I had done a minor in business now that I look back, just because it would have been so helpful. But the really cool thing is that my thesis project was to develop a website, and I developed my own website, which is calaverita.gg. And it was just really fun putting everything I learned within like those 4 years in school into like something that I'm super passionate about. And I feel like when I look at my website, I'm like, I'm so proud of it. I did that. And it just feels really, really good.
You just tell all your professors and your classmates, be like, hey, just check out my thesis project. And then if you want to go to my Twitch.
No, literally, I was like presenting in class. I feel like everybody in class or like in my class, like in college, they knew me as like the TikToker because my biggest platform is TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit embarrassed when I did my first presentation like about my thesis and what it was going to be about. I was like, oh my God, I have to tell everybody that I'm a gamer and that I stream on Twitch. It was a little nerve-wracking, but it had really like positive feedback. Like there was a couple of women in like my class, they were like, oh, like I wish I could do what you're doing. I'm just too shy. I don't have the confidence to do it. And I'm like, that's why I'm here. I want to help inspire people like them to just go for it.
Yeah. Wait, so I don't know how big your class would have been, but was there anybody who's kind of had exposure to Twitch or content creators or streaming or anything?
Not that I know of. I know that a lot of my classmates were gamers. They were into like the gaming, playing Valorant or other games. And there was this also another classmate who was developing a game. So it was kind of like digital design. It's all over the place. Like you can go for it just for branding, for app. And there was a bunch of different types of people in that class, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think it was going to be such a mix of people with different kind of goals and that kind of thing. That game would have been an interesting one. I can only imagine like they probably also now doing their own journey of like, cool, I'm gonna make games.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to ask you these questions because for anyone out there who's either like high school or college right now, or even maybe later into their 20s like myself, where they could be contemplating things like a career change, like it's good to know that there are still some like college or university options to help out. I would say my university was helpful, but I think a lot of people are questioning now, like, is there any point kind of going, and is there going to be like a practical side to it? But it's good to hear that your experience has been like very good, and it's actually kind of, I would consider like part of your building up your content creation career, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I totally agree with that. The lucky thing that I had was I had a full ride scholarship. So my college, I didn't have to pay out of pocket. It was just the books, which was relatively small in comparison to what college costs in the United States. So when people decide if they need college to be a content creator, I think it just kind of comes down to financial. Where you're going to be at financially after you graduate, if it's worth it, and if you're going to be able to, like, if it's a good investment where you're at in life.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the case with any kind of, not just college, but if you're taking on any other degrees or any other, I guess, courses, you have to kind of contemplate what you're getting out of it because it's an investment.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really interesting point to note for all of you who are thinking about this as an option. Out of curiosity, how many years was it since you did that first YouTube video? I'm not counting it as like the start, but I want to be like, what's that range been like in terms of how long you've been playing around in the space?
So my first YouTube video was, I think, 9 to 10 years ago. Keep in mind, I'm 23, so I think I uploaded my first YouTube video at 14, around there. And I go back and I remember editing that video in like my little, my old Mac laptop that, oh my God, in iMovie. And I was like, oh, like now that I've gone to college to learn how to edit videos, I'm like, oh my God, like it's crazy to see how much I've grown
Mm.
as like an editor and just as a creative, as well as I went through the process because I was like, okay, am I gonna use my personal Instagram or am I gonna make a new one?
Mm.
And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start from scratch because at first I was a little embarrassed because I didn't want my family to know what I was doing.
I
So I
know.
was like, I was just like, because I don't know if it's gonna work out or not. So I was
Yeah.
just like, you know what, I'll just make a new one because I felt more comfortable like that. And then once I started getting more followers and I started to see success, I was like, okay, let me go follow my family now so that they know that like this is where they can reach out to me because I don't
Mm.
use my personal account anymore.
Mm.
And then it's just been like kind of figuring out what social medias are good. Like back then, TikTok did not exist. And I
Not
feel
even
like
in the last like
because,
2, 3 years,
yeah,
even.
definitely. And TikTok for me, I feel like that's been the social media where like if TikTok did not exist, I would not be where I'm at now.
Mm. And I think it's kind of scary to think YouTube's been around for, I want to say, forever in internet years. I also have, everyone keeps saying that I have like this hidden YouTube account. It's not hidden, it's out there. I have videos from like 11, 12 years ago as well. They're still getting views, but I don't really pay attention to them. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what the next TikTok is. I feel like Clubhouse tried to do that, but now they're getting overtaken by some of the other existing platforms. But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to see, you know, how something that rises in popularity like that can really be something to you can ride the wave of going up. And it's weird because I think technically short form video has been around for a while, but I think the way they've designed it has really helped make it be more relatable. In terms of when did you start your TikTok, out of curiosity?
I started my TikTok back, I think it was about a year ago in June.
Mm.
I opened up my first account, but I was just watching content.
Mm.
And then there was this one day I was like, I went for a walk with my dog, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna film a TikTok just because why not? So it was just filming a TikTok of me walking my dog. And then after that, I was like, oh, like I want to start streaming on Twitch. So I just started streaming on Twitch and I was like, I saw a lot of people use their TikTok to grow their Twitch. And I had been streaming on Twitch on and off for like a couple months, but not consistently. I hadn't even been an affiliate yet. So I was just like, okay, maybe I'm just going to see what TikTok can bring for me. And I just started making videos. My first video that blew up on TikTok was one of me clearing my PlayStation 4 because I sold my PlayStation to invest the money into my PC. And that video almost reached 1 million views.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, oh my God, like this is crazy. Like I don't need so many followers to go viral. And after that, I just started going up in numbers and then I hit 1,000 and 10,000. I was like, oh my God, like this is crazy. And then once I saw growth on TikTok, I started seeing growth on Twitch.
Was there any kind of strategy you were following with TikTok, or was it very it's still experimental? What's that look like?
Yes, definitely. Like at the beginning, I was like, I'm just gonna post. Just post. I wasn't thinking in terms of quality. I was thinking in terms of quantity. And I was still going to school, so I didn't have as much time to edit or make as much content as I would have wanted. But then after that, I started watching YouTube videos like, oh, how does the TikTok algorithm work? What is a niche and how does it work on TikTok? How many hashtags do I need to put? And it kind of just trial and error. And like right now where I'm at, it's at least 3 to 4 niche related. The other one, viral ones. Also, it just grabbing attention. Like the first 3 seconds of your video are the most important, as well as having a conversation in the comments. So once I post a TikTok, I always post a question in the comments. Like I'm the first person to comment in my own video, and I'll be like, oh, like what's your favorite game to play, or do you have any game recommendations? And when people start having conversations and I start replying to them on my TikToks, it's like the conversation just keeps going, and the TikTok algorithm pushes the video out more. Not just that, but it's really fun connecting with people on TikTok. And I've met amazing people, and some people are really close friends now, thanks to TikTok and to Twitch.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see, especially in terms of the discoverability on TikTok is I think that's where it kind of trumps Twitch, right? Until the new tag system. This is like the third time I'm bringing up the new tag system, either on like a live stream or like a Twitter space. But I think that's the most exciting thing about it is you can open the app and you'll be served like with for sure something like entertaining, and then you can scroll through, as opposed to like you land on Twitch and you're like, cool.
What do I watch?
This one. But yeah, have you heard about the new tag system on Twitch?
Yes, I did.
Have you been playing around with that as well?
I've actually only done one stream ever since they came out with the tags. But I do want to explore them a little bit more. Hopefully it's like a good place to go, just because Twitch is the discoverability is just crazy hard on there. So I think that's a really good thing that Twitch did that.
Yeah, because I think especially, and I'm going to bring this up again, just for all of you guys who've listened to me for like the fourth time mention this, it's so good to see them bring something that brings like a highlight towards all those minorities and different diverse groups of people that otherwise you can't find them. And even just like the country, the geolocation like lookup was just terrible. So I was talking to someone on Tuesday, and they're like, I can finally put Australia on there or ANZ instead of having to hope that the keyword gets picked up, because even that's a bit sketchy. We were talking before the start of this interview, and I really want to like specifically ask your piece of advice about how you're showcasing your links, because I think it's a really cool kind of like case study. So can you tell me about how you're getting people to like get to your links on various social media platforms?
So I was previously using Bitesize Me, which is like a link tree, and I was getting a lot of traffic to that link tree, you could say. And I would get traffic to the links, but I wouldn't get traffic to my Twitch or to my Instagram. So I decided to convert my Twitch panels into my own like link tree. So instead now my link on my Instagram and on my TikTok is twitch.tv/ my username Calaverita and then /about. And it looks really pretty on mobile as well as web. So I thought it was really cool, and that way people are instantly taken to my Twitch and as well as like my other links that they can find in the panels.
Yeah. And I really like that intentional design, because I think even the way that I feel like TikTok bios are a little minimal. So when I go see someone's profile and I'm looking for their links, and sometimes it's just a Twitch link, it's like, okay. And then it takes me to the homepage for the Twitch, which is, it's cool. I get to see that, but I'm just like, sometimes I'm just looking for the rest of the links. Just for you guys in chat, like go over to her Twitch. Her Twitch handle is under her name there, and go to the about page and you'll see it. Like if you're on mobile, you'll see the one column, but if you're on PC, just make your window thin and you'll see the same view. It's kind of just it's a nice user experience, which is something really weird to think about when you're designing something like that for your own kind of branding and marketing. But it always comes down to user experience and how people are, oh, okay, cool. Like there's like a nifty point to it. And I think, I haven't actually seen anyone else do that until you. So great job on that. That's like a really, really, really nice way to play around with that. And it means then, I think the biggest advantage I can see is you don't have to update like 5 different linking pages. So if your Twitch is up to date, everything's
all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's also nice to see you design those panels yourself as well, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And
I did. And like in college, I studied user experience, so I know how it all works out. Like that was part of my learning digital design and all that. So I feel like that's kind of maybe why my brain took me to like, oh, like, hey, this looks much prettier. It's more accessible. You take away an extra step for the person who's on your profile, which is literally what user experience is.
Yeah. I haven't actually talked to anybody about user experience as a kind of craft. It's something that people talk about without calling it user experience. But for those of you in chat who aren't really familiar with it, just look it up online, because the way that the kind of study behind it works is basically UX applies to everything. And so when you're thinking about like singular steps and taps and clicks, that's what that's all about, especially from a digital version. But it's really fascinating to see you apply that to your own branding and be really intentional. And I like, it's really good to see that. And I think that's something that people can apply themselves. There would be like resources and stuff online if you want to look up like some just philosophy and thinking behind it, because it's a really good building block to have. It's something that I use myself when I'm thinking about like comms or community or that kind of thing. I'm thinking about how is this person here and this person here going to do this? And I think you've done that really well on your links.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I do see some of your community in chat. I haven't been typing in chat because I don't want my keyboard to be too loud, but welcome. Hello, everybody. They were saying congrats for finishing up college, and someone's like, more streams. Speaking of that, now that you've been wrapping up, what's your kind of planning or thinking, or what's your kind of process now that you're going to be moving forward from college in terms of building out your career from this point?
Oh, I think so I tried just streaming for like 2 weeks, and I didn't enjoy it as much just because I was stressed financially. And I was like, okay, if I'm stressed financially, because right now I don't have a job, I was like, I'm just going to try full-time streaming and see where it takes me. But it just puts so much pressure on yourself. And it's like, if I don't do good on stream, if my TikTok doesn't do good, I don't have a source of income. And it's just like, I'm not enjoying this because I'm so stressed. So I was like, my first step is to find a part-time job just to be able to have a steady source of income. And I feel like with the part-time and then trying to do content creation, whether it's part-time or full-time on the side, I think that's going to be where it's the perfect balance between being financially set and still doing what I want to do. And I feel like it's super important to just have a plan where you feel comfortable and not to the point where you're just stressed out. Because once I noticed that I was stressed out, I just wasn't enjoying the content that I was making. It's just like, this is not what I wanted. But I think it's really important just to find the perfect balance between financial stability as well as mental stability and just doing what you love.
Yeah, because for sure your financial situation will, even though like, yes, money isn't the be all end all of everything, but you know, there's still like, you need to invest in yourself, including like, you know, feeding yourself and bills and things. So I think, you know, that's something for people to really consider, especially when they're starting out, or if they're in a similar situation to you where they're still in college and they're trying to plan. But it's good that you're thinking about different options, because I think part-time might be an interesting way for you to still figure it out. But I guess it's ongoing experimentation, is the recurring theme here. All right, out of curiosity, are you going to be going for more of a design role again, or is it going to be like just something that fits better with your expected streaming schedule?
A little bit of, I think mostly just if it's gonna fit my schedule rather than design, just because with design it's a lot of freelance work, and design work is super time consuming, and that's where I'm like it wouldn't be like the best combination. But I am also looking into like passive income. So lately I've been designing so it's like a planner. It's a checklist before you go live on stream. It's a planner for streamers. So I'm designing it and working on getting it published on Amazon. That way that's another source of income. Yeah. Thank
you for talking about passive income, because I think that's something that not a lot of people think of, because sometimes it's assuming that like, donations and maybe if you're lucky, sponsors. But I think diversifying, I spoke to someone who works in finance earlier, and I'm just like, yes, diversify your options, because it's good to build out different ways, and that's your money working smarter rather than harder. And I think it's really good to hear you bring that up. So before we wrap up, I want to give you a chance to kind of answer some of like the really kind of key questions we have on our question list. I think you've already mentioned quite a few challenges and how you've overcome them, so I'm not going to go over that point, and growth strategies as well. But I want to give you a chance to answer for anybody that's looking into pursuing this as like a career, whether full-time, well, assuming they also want to go full-time like you, what's like the one thing that you either, I guess, wish you knew beforehand, or what you want people to know before they get into this?
I think it would be that it's really hard. It's super time consuming. It can be mentally exhausting, but if you love it, it doesn't feel as hard. I feel like you have to have a super tough skin, because you're gonna get hate. You're gonna get comments that are not nice and stuff like that. So it's just part of growing. And I feel like don't have such high expectations when you first start, because the content creator that you are when you put yourself out there is not the content creator you're going to be in a couple of years. And just with any type of career or job, it takes practice to master it, and time is going to be super important in growing as a content creator, and patience. A lot of patience is necessary.
Yeah. The patience part, and I really love your point about the where you are at this point is not going to be the same here. And I think even for the guys who are already kind of established, or they already have, a set kind of brand and everything, like it's an evolutionary thing. And I'm really glad that you brought that up, because it's all, you're constantly trying to improve and optimize and do all those things. So it's good to hear that even for you, now that you're just wrapping up college, you've got like a really kind of clear view of like how, what's the word I'm looking for? How kind of ebb and flowy it's going to be over time. And I think that's part of the cool part about it, because I think it would just be boring if it was the same, right? Everything was just the same all the time. But yeah, like excellent advice. And wishing you the best of luck going forward, especially, figuring out where you're going from here. I think for people who want to learn more, obviously they can follow you using your handles. You're on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. Well, she's everywhere, people. She's everywhere. Go look her up, follow her, check out her content. Thank you so much for joining us. It was really lovely talking to you. Really lovely getting your advice on, thinking about building blocks for a career in the space, and really get to see, like, I feel very hopeful. Speaking to you and hearing hearing about your own journey. So I'm hoping that everyone else who sees the VOD, everyone else who's been on the stream so far, gets that same feeling too. So thank you.
Thank you. I actually have, so on my website, I feel like it'd be really helpful for other content creators. I did a blog where I talk about how I use TikTok to grow, how to brand yourself as a streamer, and just how to build a PC. It's just like little blogs that I have. And if anybody needs help with that, they're always on my website if anybody wants to check them out.
And hit her up if you have questions as well. So
yes.
Great. Thank you. We're going to wrap up with the marketplace teaser again. Again, a reminder, I'm just going to keep saying this. Go get your handle, please. We are launching so soon that, we need to make sure everybody's handles are all set. So please come in as early as you can. That'll help us out. That'll help you out. So see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.